Hello, Jag Nation. Each and every week during the football season, we bring you insight into the Jaguar football program. Coach Basil enters his fourth season at Flower Mound, coming off an impressive 8-3 record and an undefeated district championship in 2018. You can subscribe and share this on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker.com, that's Spreaker.com, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and soon on iHeartRadio. This is presented by the Flower Mound Jaguar Football Booster Club. Jag Nation Football with Coach Basil starts now. It is Sunday, just an hour before the Dallas Cowboys kick off in their season opener versus the Giants, and we're talking Jaguar football with head coach Brian Basil. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
Well, you and the staff putting in the game plan, watching some film for this week's game against the Prosper Eagles. Your first home opener of the season, starting off 2-0. We were just talking the vibe there in the field house amongst the coaching staff, the players, the trainers, the managers. It's got to be a good feeling there in Flower Mound.
Well, it feels great anytime after any win. You always feel a lot better after that, coming out on Saturday and bringing the kids in, and it's exciting. There's always things to work on, and that's the thing. Is we're excited to be 2-0. But we've talked to our kids on Saturday, and we've talked to our coaches. There's a lot that we need to work on. We need to continue to get a lot better. So it's easier to kind of hear that message when you're 2-0 after a win than it is, if you lose and there's some things that went wrong, some things you have to work on, then that's not very fun. But sometimes after wins is when you really need to push the most in terms of taking that next step as a program. But being 2-0 just verifies that a lot of the hard work has paid off, and we've executed pretty well, I think, at large chunks of the game. And our kids have played well and are settling into roles pretty good. So we are excited about that.
Well, Coach, being right here in North Texas, the home of the world champion Dallas Cowboys, here's the $64,000 question. Are you going to have the coaching staff out of there before kickoff today? You got about an hour and a half before they kick.
We will not be out of here by kickoff. I know that. We may be home by midway through the second half, maybe fourth quarter or so. But we come in on Sundays at 1. We want our coaches to be able to go to church and maybe have lunch with their families, or at least breakfast with their families, and go to church. And then we come in and get started at 1. And we've got a lot of work on behalf of our kids and our program that we want to get done. So that usually takes us to about 5:30 or so on Sunday. And if it's a later Cowboys game, then that works out good because we can at least get home and see some of the second half. Of course, if they play on Sunday night or a Monday night game, that's even better because we get to see them. But yeah, those earlier games on Sunday, we don't get to see them. I'm not going to say we won't check a score every once in a while, and there may have been times at some of those noon kickoff games where things are tight at the end. We may take a little break and catch the end of it, but we're focused on a very good Prosper Eagle team that we got to get ready for this week.
Well, that just shows the commitment you and the staff have to the program. And I do want to ask you, we both watch a lot of football, college, pro film on high school teams. While watching film or games of any level, NFL, college, do you or the staff ever get any ideas on certain schemes or maybe certain plays that you might incorporate into the Jaguar playbook somewhere further down the road?
Yeah, we now on Saturdays, we'll come up Saturday morning and watch film, bring our players and watch film, and then we'll watch all of our opponent trade tape and put that initial draft together of the game plan. We're usually out of here by 2 or 3 on Saturday, and we'll get home, and a lot of people think, well, man, you been football all week, and do you ever want to get away from it? Well, Saturday we'll watch games Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. There was a really good game on last night. The Texas LSU game was fun to watch. But we'll watch some things, and we're always looking for maybe little nuances that fit into our scheme that, maybe we'll see. I'll have coaches and we'll text each other sometimes, and we'll see somebody run up a play or a blitz, and they'll say, well, hey, that's just Gator right there. Or so sometimes we see some verification or an application of the scheme, and you'll pick up some things in terms of trick plays, maybe some special team stuff. You never can come in. We've worked things within our scheme from back in February, so you never are going to make wholesale changes. But every once in a while, you'll see a little nuance that you can incorporate in. Not really as much on the NFL level because, one, we don't get to see a whole lot of those games, and secondly, it's a little bit different. The field dimensions are different, some of the rules are different, but we love to watch those college games, and every once in a while we'll see some things that we can look at, or maybe a lot of times even a technique with Huddle now. You can record something on your phone and load it into Huddle and show it to your kids as far as maybe a good tackle technique or maybe a good release by a receiver. Any visuals you can give your kids to see is always helpful with that too.
Yeah, the message there is always looking for improvement. I remember back when Coach Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints had to take that year off due to some NFL policy issues, and he was coaching, I believe, a sixth grade team right there in Argyle area, Liberty Christian feeder team, and I saw one of his practices, and he was reeling off play calls that sounded just like the New Orleans Saints, and I saw those kids just kind of shaking their head like it was so over their head and complex they didn't know what the heck was going on. So it's hard to adapt the NFL game to the high school level, much less middle schoolers. You're coming off another impressive road win versus Plano West, 38-10. Looking at the numbers, Coach, Plano West put up some pretty good offensive numbers. Kind of matched up pretty evenly with you on first downs, some yardage, but where it mattered most on the scoreboard, you end up beating them by 4 scores. What was the difference in that game?
Well, Plano West, very, very well-coached team. Offensively and defensively have a great scheme. Tyler Sokup, who's the head coach over there, was offensive coordinator at Hebron. He's done a great job early on. You can see their first 2 games and in their scrimmage that they're well coached and executing pretty well. Their quarterback's a good player. Had a receiver number 3, offensive line very good. Early on, they really tried to hold on to the football a little longer, and they were in a huddle and snapping the ball with under 10 seconds left on the play clock. So you could tell they were trying to minimize our possessions and trying to keep us on the field, tire us out. I think we played 50 snaps on defense the first half, and so to only give up 3 points playing 50 snaps, I was very pleased with our defense and just their resilience and toughness to fight through that. I mean, they're out there and Plano West converted a lot of third downs, and quarterback made some good plays with his feet and extended plays. And so, but our defense bowed their neck when they had to, and offensively they were loading up the box and making it really tough for our run game early on. You got a script and some things that you really want to see and see how they fit and see what they do. And after we got a good feel for some things that are going to be there, we were able to get the ball out on our perimeter to our receivers and loosen them up a little bit, and that opened up the run game, particularly in the second half. And I think, again, that's just another great, we talked to our kids about adjustments when they come off the sideline. Here's what they're doing. At halftime, have a little extra time to talk to them about some things and get together with the coaches and make some adjustments. And then that plus the level of our conditioning, I think, played off in a 4-quarter game.
Yeah, mention some of the key stats. Flower Mound had 21 first downs to Plano West 18, and turnovers, only 1 turnover in the game. Plano West committed a turnover. One of the key deltas or differentials was the passing game. Blake Short had another big game. Plano West racked up more yards on the ground, but the play of Blake Short, he looks really comfortable back there, Coach. Was 23 of 35, just shy of 300 yards and 4 TDs with no interceptions. Wow. I mean, what else can you say about that performance?
Yeah, Blake, we're so proud of him because of his passion for the game, how hard he works, how hard he prepares. He is playing like a kid that's been a 3-year starter for us, and has some confidence. Has a good rapport with his receivers. We're pleased he's making some plays with his feet, moving around in the pocket well and extending some plays, but just really has a good comprehension of the offense right now, and playing with confidence. That's just a testament to the work that he's put in to prepare himself.
And he continues to spread the ball around quite a bit. To multiple receivers. Carson Winters had another nice game, 6 receptions, 112 yards, 2 TDs, Reed touchdown, 4 receptions, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. And both those receivers averaging almost 20 yards a catch. Parker Clark, 4 receptions, 1 touchdown, 51 yards. So keeping the defense off balance, he's been able to throw the ball around to multiple receivers, not really just a one go-to guy.
Yeah, and that's in our offense. You gotta be productive when you're on the field, and that makes it so hard on a defense. As far as who you're going to take away when you're on the field, if you got a receiver that plays on one side and then you're pushed to the far hash, then that changes some of your angles and some of your field zones. And so if those guys, when it's their turn, they've got to be able to make plays, and they work hard. All those kids are great leaders for our team. They're selfless. They know, one game it may be one guy that gets the majority of touches, and a different game it may be another guy. But we've caught the ball well. Blake's going to put it on our hands. He's going to give them all a chance to go compete for the football, and those guys thus far have done a good job converting on those.
It looks like potentially in your game plan you knew you could pick apart their defense throwing the ball, because you really didn't run the ball that much. Pierce Hudgens led the way with only 12 carries, 76. Good performance, 76 yards, averaging 6.3 yards a carry with 1 TD, but a total of 107 yards on the ground. Did y'all see something as a coaching staff early in the week, or when you were game planning for this last Saturday, that you could have a lot of success through the air?
Well, yeah, they loaded up the box. It's a numbers game, and of course, when you're a 4 wide receiver set, then if defenses put 7 in the box, then you got one less guy in there. You got one guy that you can't block, and so when that's the case, you got to be able to throw it. And 20 years ago, when team line up all 22 guys in between the hash marks and ran toss sweep, you had to rely on, if you had bigger guys and once the matchups there, then you're able to move the ball. And now being able to spread the field a little bit and get people outside the numbers and use the width of the field opens up some things for us. And sometimes defense, the key now on defense is where you bring those guys into the box from on the run game. And there's teams that will kind of take away, from numbers and have what we call tweeners, kind of can play pass and run. And, Plano West did a pretty good job of that. They were committed to stopping the run game, and they did a good job with it. So we just had to convert on some of those holes there in the secondary. And when I say holes, it's not a personnel deal, but it's just when you're playing 2 corners and 2 safeties, and you got the rest of the guys pretty packed in tight to the box, and you got to be able to find those windows, and you got to be able to protect it. They got to Blake a few times, and so we got to be able to get the ball out quick, and that really is depending on receivers having good releases and getting into those open holes there, 10 yards or so underneath these safeties and outside of the linebackers. And but yeah, we did see that we felt it was going to be tough to run the ball just because of how they were lining up and what we saw on film. And they came out at the beginning of the game and kind of did what we felt they were going to in terms of their numbers in the box. And so it made it hard to run.
Coach Basil, a key difference, like we talked at the beginning of the show, was the defense. You held them to only 10 points. 5 sacks really stands out to me. A lot of pressure on Plano West quarterback. And, Stone Ebby led the way with 8.5 total tackles, 7 solo, then followed up by Landon Colby, 6.5 total tackles, 6 solo. But your defensive unit is playing really good football. What's